At the age of 2, Armani Williams was diagnosed as having autism. By age 5, he was still nonverbal. Today, he is an accomplished NASCAR driver, full-time mechanical engineering student, and public advocate for those with special needs. So how does someone who couldn't speak at all go on to become the voice of millions? Let's talk about it. Welcome to My Healthy Mind. I'm Michael Hunter. Today, my colleague Elizabeth Atkins and I are delighted to have with us Armani Williams and his mother, Irina. Armani is a remarkable young man, an engineering student at Oakland University, a public speaker and advocate, a winning NASCAR driver and hero to his many fans. And by the way, Armani has autism.
There's so much to talk about on your journey. Armani, you're only 20 years old and you've already accomplished so many amazing things. We're really thrilled to have you here today.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate that.
And you have autism.
Yes, absolutely. Something that I was born with and diagnosed with when I was 2 years old.
So Irina, can you take us back to when he was very young? What were some of the things you began to notice in his development that concerned you?
Sure. So, he was a happy-go-lucky boy, played well. He was in the daycare center. I was working. And what I've noticed over time, and I didn't quite compare him to all the kids in the daycare center, but I noticed all of a sudden kids were talking, they were saying words, and I noticed Armani just wasn't saying anything at all. So when his 2-year checkup came with his doctor, I brought that up and I said to them that I was really concerned that Armani's not talking. And the pediatrician, kind of shrugged it off and he said, yes, he's the only child, probably, boys are kind of late speakers. I shouldn't be too worried about it. Just give it some time and we'll see how things go. And that just didn't sit well with me. So I was in Ann Arbor at the time, and I contacted Washington Intermediate School District to see if there's anything they can do to assist us in doing that. And that's when I was told about the Early On program in Ann Arbor, and we brought him in for a sort of evaluation session. That's when we were told that it looks like it is an autism spectrum disorder.
So how did you and your husband receive the autism diagnosis? What was going through your minds?
So it was a shock in the beginning, mostly from the point of the unknown. We just were not very familiar with autism. We didn't know anybody else in our family or circle of friends that had it. So we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know what that means. We didn't know what that means for us. We didn't know what that would mean for Armani. And it just brought up a lot of questions. We had a lot of questions and a lot of things that we wanted to get answers to.
And what kind of prognosis did they give you?
So from the doctor's perspective and the professionals that we first encounter, most of the things that we were told is that typically kids diagnosed with autism don't progress beyond the age that they're currently in. They don't finish high school. They have a lot of behavioral issues that prevent them from interacting normally in a society, whatever normal means. They told us that he would probably have to live with us for the rest of his life. We would have to take care of him for the rest of his life, that he would never be independently living on his own. And all the challenges that kind of come up with having a special needs child. And I was like, no way, we have to do something to, now that we know what the challenges are, we have to strive to do whatever we can as parents to help him overcome, all these obstacles that they told us that he would have along the way. And incorporate that in our everyday life, look for resources in the community, in schools, anything we can to help him be as close to normal and have as close to normal life as he can.
And Armani, when did you begin to notice that you were different, as you call it?
I guess it all had to go through my school years, especially when I was a child, while like a lot of kids were always energetic, I was always like a shy guy around school. I never really talked a lot like much kids. I was always trying to look for some ways where I can just, connect with people, fit in, interact, make some friends. And, over time, I just was always struggling to do that. And, I was always trying to figure out why, did they not like me, or like, what was going on? Like, why couldn't I not get that connection? So, around the time when I was just about to get into middle school, say like 10 or 11, and even my parents knew about it, that's when they told me that I had autism. And so I think it was from that point I kind of understood, okay, that's probably why all these things are happening, all these challenges that are going on. And so, I've kind of, understand it all, and just try to realize that, there was going to be some blocks on the road and challenges that I was going to be able to overcome. This is something I'm going to have to live with the rest of my life. But, I just, couldn't let it hold me back. But, I definitely understood it at that point. Just from a knowledge standpoint, I didn't really know what autism was. So, I took the initiative to just, go on the internet, on Google, just research as much about autism as much as I can, just learn about what exactly causes autism, what are some challenges that people with autism face that, possibly I could be facing, and once I kind of understood it all, I had to find ways of how I could counteract those challenges, break those barriers head on, get out of my comfort zone and just find, the person that, I really wanted to be, not just from what my diagnosis is. Autism is basically like a neurological developmental brain disorder. It's the type of diagnosis where over your life you might experience some developmental delays, such as, social interaction, communication's one of them, repetitive behaviors, lack of eye contact when you look at somebody in the eye. And so, that's kind of mostly what autism is.
So you decided to advocate for yourself, to pursue things that would enable you to strengthen any skills that could have been challenged?
Yeah, exactly. I took it upon myself. In high school, we had a speech class, where you kind of learn how to speak in front of a bunch of people, not just one person, but a crowd of people. And I knew that with my autism, with social interaction and communication, all that combined, it all combines as a speech delay that, I've kind of struggled with over the years. So I kind of figured that, I needed to take this class, because throughout my life being a race car driver, I knew I was going to do things off track, where I was going to speak to media, speak to kids and communities, businesses. So, I needed to get my speech right.
And at some point you discovered you wanted to be a race car driver.
Yeah, absolutely. I found race car driving as, something that I loved at a very young age. Even before that, I just liked, cars in general. I would always ask my parents, whenever I saw an action figure car like a Hot Wheel, I wanted to go buy one, just get a whole collection, play it on the kitchen counter. I just loved cars in general, as a kid. And then, once I found out there was a sport called NASCAR, I kind of thought of it to be an awesome, cool thing. I'm I got to check this out. And so, whenever it came on Sunday, the first time I watched it, it really fascinated me just from how fast the cars are going. I mean, you talk about race cars that are going 170, 180 miles per hour. I mean, that is fast. It was just it blew my mind. And, just how cool the cars looked and all that. And, right then I just knew that, at some point, that's something that I wanted to do in life. I wanted to be a professional race car driver. And so, that's what I told my dad, 8 or 9 years old, that I wanted to race.
Awesome. And then you were 10 when you went to the first race with your father, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it was actually the first time, I actually went to go to a race in person. I've always watched them on TV, but never actually went to a track to go see a race. So this was an exciting time for me just to see what it's like, going to a racetrack, the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It was just a nice, beautiful day for racing, and it was just a moment and a memory that I won't forget for a long time.
My job was causing me so much stress.
I felt disconnected and frightened.
I felt so isolated.
I was beginning to feel trapped, depressed. I never expected that to happen to me.
We think nobody else feels the pain that we feel, but that is so untrue.
It's good to be able to talk about it.
I was able to seek help. I found it from Team Wellness.
It's a sense of freedom.
Team Wellness Center. You are not alone.
Very first time on the track against the adults, he wins. He wins.
It took me a few laps to get to the front, and I led the rest of the way. But when I win, I get excited. I got so excited, I went off the track instead of going to victory lane.
And at that point, I knew it was absolutely possible. He can do this if he wants to.
I can show them that this is possible. I'll be a winner. I'll be a champion.
Armani liked racing, and we lived in Ann Arbor at the time, and right outside of MIS they have a nice go-kart track, and we enrolled him there in the summer program, and he spent a month in the summer racing, and it was the coaches and the trainers there at the summer program camp, they told us that he's really good, that he should be really racing. So we decided to get him a used go-kart and get him really racing, and he was winning. And that's when I realized that, wow, you know, of all the sports we've been trying to put him in and make him, you know, play, and, you know, all the t-ball games and the soccer games, you know, this is really something, you know, it was that aha moment that, you know, I think every parent loves to have with a child when they finally realize that they struck the gold mine, you know, they found something that not just that the kid enjoys doing, but that he's really, really good and he's really competitive with.
You know, I mean, for whatever reason, I just felt like I just fit right in, you know, my skills just fit right into the sport that, you know, I was getting into, you know, and so like after that first race and what everything went on, you know, that's when I told my dad that I understand and that this is something that is really part of my life. It's something that I want to do for a very long time.
So what was it like being in the racing world and having autism? Some of the challenges that you come along with autism actually helped you to be very focused, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and like mainly like, you know, people with autism are very unique, you know. We may be different in a lot of ways, but, you know, there are some things that, you know, we are really skillful at, you know, and really good at that we can apply to the things that we want to be successful and that we enjoy doing. And for me, you know, that came along with racing. You know, we have the high ability to, you know, focus and concentrate on a lot of different things and just stay on task with it. And I think like over time, you know, like I sort of figured out that those were one of my strengths. It wasn't just a weakness of mine, you know, just, you know, with a 200 lap race and going 180 miles an hour and you got to hit your marks every time. I was just always so focused on it, and it really something that I took advantage of that maybe some other drivers, you know, didn't have.
So that's on the track, but there's also a social element to racing. Can you talk about what that was like in the context of having autism? Yeah,
I mean, I think like with the, you know, communication and social interaction part, you know, like I needed it needed me to take a lot of time to, you know, just sort of learn that, you know, like in the racing environment, you know, you're with business people, you're with your team, you're with your crew chief, and even during a race, whenever something goes wrong with the car, you know, you have to have the ability to communicate, you know, and use like certain words just to describe to your crew chief what's going on with the car, you know, and I knew that, with my communication skills, it wasn't all that great. I never really talked a lot, but I knew, like, at those moments, I really need to like let it all out.
And your communication skills became so good, you had your first radio gig at age 9, right?
Yeah, I think that was like forever ago, but yeah, I mean, it was the first out of many radio and media gigs that I was able to do. It was nice to be, recognized like that, even from the start of my career.
So one of the very first sponsors that sponsored Armani's go-kart was Autism Speaks, and we contacted them sort of right at the beginning because we wanted to, in my world, I wanted to have an autism sticker on the car. We were never shy about talking about Armani having autism. And just, talking about autism in general. Again, I didn't really tie autism and racing, but then all of a sudden I noticed, race after race, week after week, we had other teams and other parents would come to us and say, we normally don't talk about this, but our child has autism too, or our friend's child has autism, or my sister's kid has autism. Is it okay if we bring him to the track and have him talk to Armani or take a picture by the car, with autism sticker on it and things like that. So slowly I realized that there is a whole world of racing and autism that has never been talked about. And the impact that this had just grew as Armani's, racing career grew. And we realized we need to create a venue for these kids to come in, and have an autograph, have some swag, talk to their driver, and be inspired.
Stress, depression, and severe mental illness can happen to anyone. Team Wellness Center has been helping those struggling with these conditions in southeastern Michigan.
They get a chance to know that somebody's on their team.
We think nobody else feels the pain that we feel. We feel like I'm the only one. But that is so untrue.
Within 24 hours of reaching out to our team, members receive psychiatric evaluations and begin the necessary treatment for recovery.
Working through my problems and seeing that I'm not the only one that has to cope has really brought me to a place where now it's okay to talk about it.
Because if you keep stuff to yourself, you can't overcome. We all need one another.
Team Wellness Center. You are not alone.
Every city that we go to, we connect to a local autism association. Gives me a chance to meet with a whole group of autism kids.
To see Armani out here, following his dream, but also, doing those things that are important from a social responsibility standpoint, really being that face of autism. He's able to tell people, like, listen, stick into the fight, stay encouraged, overcome obstacles, and I think he demonstrated that. So I think he gives people with autism and their families a lot of hope.
So Armani, you're moving up in the world of racing, you're winning races, and you're using that exposure to advocate for people like yourself with autism and other special needs. Can you talk about that?
Yes. So, really as I was moving up towards racing, the conversation of trying to, use my autism with the racing platform, didn't come until I think 5 years ago. We realized that, the higher I went, we needed to come up with some sort of identity. We needed to figure out how to give back to the community, we realized that with me having autism, we can use that sort of connection in racing to help create that awareness and acceptance and, inclusion. And so, really we just, every time, we would go to a track, we always try to contact a local autism association or an organization, in the area in which I would race, just try to bring a group of people and family just to, go to the track, either to meet me, see the cool cars and just really experience what it's like in the racing world that maybe they haven't really experienced before. you know, and all that, you know, it just, you know, we always try to kind of help bring hope to, you know, millions of individuals and families that are impacted by autism, and let them know that, you know, hey, you know, I'm an autistic driver. My dream was to become a professional race car driver, you know, and you can be anything you want to be in life, just as long as, you know, you put the hard work in, you have the right support system behind you, and that you believe in yourself for what you love to do, that, you know, many things are possible, you know, just can't give up on your dream, and, you know, you just can't give up on hope either.
And what we realized early on, even, you know, from the point that he got diagnosed, that this is going to be a lot of work. Mm-hmm. This is just not going to happen on its own, that we really are going to, you know, really have a lot of hands-on in his development, you know, to make sure that, you know, as a parent, you know your child the best, you know, there are good days, bad days, you know, and you really kind of have to build those blocks, you know, of good days and, you know, positive things and things that he's really good at, you know, build one on the top of another to move him forward.
So Armani, you're famous for saying, tell me I can't, and I'll show you that I can. You've become a tremendous inspiration. You are the first ever autistic NASCAR driver. That is a tremendous accomplishment. So tell us, how did that happen for someone who couldn't even tolerate loud noise at one time, and races are very noisy?
You know what I mean? Again, I think it was just a matter of, like, you know, me having to decide that, you know, was I going to let autism, you know, hold me back from the challenges that I was going to be facing, or whether I was going to, you know, break those challenges. And, you know, loud noises was one of them. You know, there was times where, like, you know, there will always be some fireworks show, and I hate it when they, like, just pop in the air, cars going by me with the loud engines. It just, you know, loud noises were always, like, a difficult challenge. But, you know, I just kind of felt that, you know, I needed to, you know, be at, you know, more moments and events like that, just to get it out of my comfort zone. And then eventually on, you know, like, loud noises didn't really, you know, bother me as much, you know. And there's many people that might, you know, like, everybody tries to, you know, doubt you, try to find some way to take you down. But, you know, it's just, you know, I kind of use that as a motivation to just keep pushing forward, you know, just keep pushing on challenges that people thought I can't, because I can do certain things, and I believe in myself.
Very inspiring. And Irina, you must be so proud of your son.
I am. I'm very proud. And, you know, he came a long way, you know, and I'm proud of him from the educational perspective, from being a successful student. You know, he just finished his second year at Oakland University as a mechanical engineering student. You know, I'm proud of him, you know, as a sportsman and as a race car driver. You know, I'm proud of him as a role model and things like that. So I'm very proud of how he interacts with people, how he inspires people. His fans, they're writing to him every day. He's on the top of all that, you know, and wanting to make sure that, you know, they feel connected, they feel inspired, you know, that, you know, everybody he touches, you know, in any way that will, you know, leave a better person than they were before. So, you know, each year young kids are diagnosed with autism, and, you know, it's good for people to know that there is a path to success, despite of diagnosis, despite of challenges and things you're told, you know, by that early on.
So Armani, is there anything you'd like to leave with our viewers today?
You know, I would just tell the viewers at home, you know, never let autism back you down from your dreams, you know. I mean, even if you have autism, you know, like, if you have a dream of something that you want to be successful at in life, go for it. You know, like, just believe in yourself, stay encouraged. You know, we go through tough times just like this year, you know, with COVID-19, you know, and it's all about being together and just, you know, uniting each other. And so, you know, like, just, you know, have the right support system, you know, and just work hard at what you love to do, and trust me, you know, many things will be possible, and the dream that you always thought to happen, it will happen.
At Team Wellness Primary Care Center, you will find all the basic services you need to be well and stay well. Come in for all your screenings. Come in for routine physicals and checkups. Come in for full-service dentistry. Come in for vaccinations and immunizations. At Team Wellness Primary Care Center, we take care of your total health. Team Wellness Primary Care Center. Come on in.
Thank you for joining us today in exploring the limitless possibilities that open up when you break down the barriers of autism. If you'd like to learn more about this or any mental health issue, please visit us at myhealthymind.com. Follow us on Twitter at myhealthymind or on Facebook. We'll see you next week for another edition of My Healthy Mind. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more content from My Healthy Mind. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Anthony, owner of the Policella Insurance Agency. Thanks for stopping by. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the insurances and services we offer. For individuals and families, we offer health, life, dental, vision, and disability insurance from multiple carriers. We even offer health insurance plans from healthcare.gov and Medicare plans for those over 65. Do you own a business? If so, we offer a variety of employee benefits like health, dental, and vision coverage for businesses with as few as 1 employee or as large as 500. We also offer commercial coverage like general liability, workers' comp, and property insurance. The Policella Insurance Agency is an independent agency offering multiple insurance carriers, which means you do not have to call around to several different companies shopping for coverage or rates. We will give you quotes from different carriers to help you find the best price and coverage for your family or business. If you have questions about insurance for you, your family, or business, call us today for a free quote at 1-800-578-5141. Thanks for stopping by.